And in this particular session, we are going to learn that how we can build a custom knowledge base. A custom knowledge base. What is this custom knowledge base? With the help of Amazon Bedrock service, we are going to do that. Now, before moving ahead for the practical demonstration that how we can exactly do this and how we can create this knowledge base with the help of Amazon Bedrock. Before that, we need to understand some components of this particular lab environment in which we are going to use couple of AWS services, in which we will be talking about AWS simple storage service. We will be talking about Amazon Bedrock service, right? So we need to understand that what are these services and how exactly we are using these services to create or to generate or maybe to create this environment of a knowledge base, and what is exactly this knowledge base as well. Now, before starting, see if and I'm pretty much sure that you already have heard about this term, which is generative AI, right? Because this topic or maybe this knowledge base is basically related to this generative AI technology, in which this generative AI basically you can say that algorithms that can help us to create new content. It can be a text based content, it can be an image based content, music based content, any type of content we can create with this generative AI technology, in which this generative AI technology is having that capability that it can learn from the past data as well, or it can also able to learn the patterns in that particular data, right? Unlike our traditional AI models that basically classify and predict based on the input data which we were providing. But the generative AI technology is something which can generate new and original outputs for us, right? So if basically you are providing a description for to a generative AI model, it will be able to generate the content for you, whether it's a text or image based content, right? So if you are a developer and if you want to take benefit of the generative AI technology, you can use this maybe to generate code. You can use it to create your own applications, maybe those kind of applications which will be able to auto generate responses for the different users, right? So this is what the generative AI technology is. And in this generative AI technology, Amazon Web Services has introduced one service which is named as Amazon Bedrock service. So this Amazon Bedrock is basically, you can see, is kind of a toolkit, you can say, which basically makes easy for developers so that they can build and they can scale their application with the help of different foundation models, which are nothing but the large language models which are already been pre-trained on the vast amount of large scale of artificial intelligence models which are already trained on the vast amount of data, or can say the machine learning models which has been already trained. Those you can use in this Amazon Bedrock service as foundation models, right? So with the help of this service, it's firstly it's a very powerful tool, right? I will show you that how powerful it is. This Amazon Bedrock is, right? It's a very powerful that, and it has all the artificial intelligence models. You can access those foundation models or the artificial intelligence models with an API without worrying about the underlying infrastructure, because it's provided by Amazon. So the infrastructure will be handled or the managed by the Amazon Web Services or by the Amazon. So you don't need to worry about the infrastructure, right? So you can take benefit of that service. So if basically you are building a content, maybe suppose you are creating a platform which is a content platform, so you can use this Amazon Bedrock so that your platform, and if whenever a user is coming to your platform to get any type of output from your platform, so your application or your website will able to auto generate the output to the particular user, right? So for that, what you need to do is that you also need a data source as well, right? So what exactly I'm talking about is that foundation models which are already available in Amazon Bedrock are already being trained on vast amount of data. That is one thing. Second, there is a concept of fine tuning of large language models. So what you can do, if you have a data source on a specific data set, you can use that as well to train this foundation model, which is pre-trained on and already available in Amazon Bedrock with the help of the fine tuning concept, you can see, right? So that is also possible in this Amazon Bedrock, right? Now, the concept or the topic of today is that custom knowledge base, how we can create our custom knowledge base is that what exactly is this custom knowledge base is and why we are creating this in this Amazon Bedrock, what exactly the purpose of this knowledge base basically. So knowledge base is nothing but, folks, try to understand in that way that maybe this is a library. Okay, this is nothing but a library, you can say, or you can say this is a repository. This is a repository where you have an amount of data. The data can be structured, the data can be unstructured, any type of data this repository can have, right? So just imagine that this is your knowledge base. This is your knowledge base. Knowledge base suppose name as KB1. This is your knowledge base repository in which you can have any type of data. So this data will be accessed by the different artificial intelligence models or the different large language models available out there. They will be able to access the data which put it inside this repository to show the output to the user, right? Suppose this is your application, right? This is your application, this is your e-learning application maybe, or you have created an HR Q&A application. So what will happen if there is a user over the internet and they have downloaded your application or company's application, they want to talk with the HR of your company, but before talking to the original HR, they can talk with a generative AI model which you have generated, and you have also created a knowledge base in which you have maybe inserted or you have put it the information of your organization, in which all the organization related policies information in that particular document, and all the interview related process questions and every type of questions answers are available in that document, and you have put it that document in that knowledge base repository. And now if user is asking that if I will joining this organization, how much notice period will be there when I will be leaving the organization, so it will answer that 3 months, 4 months, or any and number of months notice period will be there if you will be leave the organization. So this is how a user will be able to get the desired output from your application or from your website or from your generative AI model on which you have created this knowledge base with the help of the data which you have. It can be structured or any unstructured type of data. The second use case we can take in this context of knowledge base is that suppose you are in the healthcare industry. You are in the healthcare industry, and maybe you could load the medical guidelines. You can load the patient records in the knowledge base repository which you are creating. All the patient's records in the inside this, all the medical policies, all the hospital guidelines inside this particular knowledge base. So whenever you will create the generative AI model which will be able to access the data from this knowledge base, this generative AI model will be able to give all the relevant answers to the users who are trying to access anything from this application, or maybe you are creating this for internal organization so that all the doctors and the paramedical staff, they want to know anything from the organization point of perspective, they will be able to understand and they will be able to get all the desired output from the application, right? So this is why we use the knowledge base. So overall the concept will look like this. Pause. This is your generative AI model, or this is your generative AI you can say a chatbot you have created. Okay, this chatbot has been integrated with the Amazon Bedrock service, and there is a data repository you have created with the help of AWS Simple Storage Service, right? S3 is also integrated with this Amazon Bedrock service. Inside this S3, you have created a repository in which you have uploaded that document which have the particular data which you need to access or which you need to store inside the knowledge base repository. With the help of this Amazon Bedrock service, you will be creating a knowledge base repository in which you are going to store this information, so that whenever a user will able to, or whenever user tries to access information from your generative AI model, it can fetch or it can request to the knowledge base, and this knowledge base will be able to fetch the information from the repository which you have created. Now, what exactly I'm talking about, what are the different points and how exactly you will be able to create this knowledge base? Let me just take you to the AWS management console. This is my AWS management console over here. The very first thing you need to create, you need to do is that, suppose this is my local repository in which I have downloaded this Amazon Aurora FAQ document from the AWS official portal, right? And I'm going to use this Amazon Aurora SQL FAQs information. This is my data set. We are going to use this data set, and we are going to upload this data set in the Amazon Simple Storage Service. This will be our first step which you need to perform, right? So you can perform this entire practical activity inside your local system as well. So the very first thing is that what you need to do, you need to create a repository to store the data from your local system. Then we will be creating the knowledge base, right? So this is the console of Amazon S3. You can click on this create bucket option over here. So bucket is nothing but the container which will be having the data. What data? This Amazon Aurora FAQs file we are going to upload. So you can provide a name to this bucket first, and the name should be globally unique. Be keep that point in your mind, otherwise you will face an error. Then you have to define the object ownership, like who will be the owner of the objects inside this particular bucket. So if we are using this ACL's disabled recommended option available over here, which is your access control list, which are by default disabled, that means the information inside this particular bucket will only be owned by this AWS account which I am using right now, right? If anyone wants to access the information inside this particular bucket, whatever inside this particular bucket is, and the info and the objects inside this particular bucket, they can only able to access that information using only the policies. That is the first case. Second, we have access control list enabled. That means the information which we are going to store inside this particular bucket can also be owned by other AWS accounts as well. So they also will be able to access this particular bucket and the information inside this particular bucket, the data specified using the access control list only. So we are using this ACLs enabled right now, and I'm selecting this object writer will be the owner. So this knowledge base user is going to upload the object inside this particular bucket. So as of now, whoever is the object writer will be the object owner only. I am turning off this block all public access right now and leave everything default. Just click on this create bucket and your bucket will be created. I have already created this knowledge base demo bucket over here. If you click on this bucket, you have this upload option over here. If you click on this upload button, add files, you will be able to add file over here. But I have already created the bucket and I have already uploaded this file inside this bucket, so that's why I'm not doing it again. So once you will be done with this step, that means you have created a simple storage space. You have created a container in which you have put it the data which you need to use to create your own knowledge base, right? Now we are going to create the knowledge base. So you need to go to this Amazon Bedrock service. Once you will inside this Amazon Bedrock service, which is a very cool, or we can say important tool inside Amazon, makes easy for all the developers, all the organizations, all the individuals, so that they can build and they can scale the generative AI applications with the help of different foundation models available. What are the different foundation models we have? So we have Claude by Anthropic foundation model. We have Command by Cohere foundation models. We have Jurassic 2 series from AI21 Labs. We have Llama from Meta, and different foundation models available inside this Amazon Bedrock service. So if you just scroll down a little bit, you will be able to see this knowledge bases section over here, right? So you can see they have given that how it exactly works is that basically you can create a knowledge base in which you can put the data which you have, then you will be able to text the knowledge base, and then you can integrate your knowledge base inside your applications, or you can add it to your agents as well, right? So if you scroll down, I have already created this knowledge base demo, but I will show you the entire process so that by yourself as well, you will be able to do the same. So first you need to provide name to this knowledge base. You can provide any specific name, whether you want, whatever type of name you want to give to this knowledge base, you can provide that. Then there is a section of IAM permissions. So the IAM is nothing but an AWS service, identity and access management service, which is related to the account security section inside AWS. So if any organization is using Amazon Web Services for their workload, they can handle this account security, the permissions of the different AWS accounts in the organization, and the accessibility of all the different IAM users inside their organizations and their permission section as well. So they have given the option of that role that you can create a new role, or you can use an existing service role as well. So role is nothing but basically we are providing a specific permission set to a particular service, which is Amazon Bedrock service, so that this Bedrock service will have all the specific permissions to access different services which we are going to use inside this demonstration. Suppose you are using Amazon Bedrock service to create an X tool, and while that X tool is being created, that X tool will need permissions to access another AWS service. So for that phase, you need to provide permissions to Amazon Bedrock so that it will be able to access that FY service during creation of that particular tool which you are creating with the help of this Amazon Bedrock service, right? Then we have this choose data source option available over here. You need to choose the data source from where you are going to fetch the information. That is, in our case, we have this Amazon Aurora FAQs, right? This is what is the data source you need to choose. So if you have a web crawler, you can choose from that, from Amazon S3, or any third-party data source like we have Confluence, we have Salesforce, SharePoint, where your data source is available. So this Amazon Bedrock will fetch the information from that particular thing, right? So in that phase, it will require permission to access Amazon S3. So we are just saying that you can create a new role and it will automatically provide the specific permissions to Amazon Bedrock. Now click on next option over here, and now you just select on this browse S3. This is your bucket which we have created, and just select this Amazon Aurora FAQ PDF from here and click on this choose option over here. Okay, now there is an option of available that do you want to chunk the data into multiple smaller parts, or just you want that this entire PDF information will go in one go. So we are using that. You can use the default settings in which you will use the default parsing and chunking strategy automatically. We don't need to do anything customization. Or you can use this custom in which you need to perform, you need to specify the chunking strategy and the different chunking strategies we have, in which we have fixed size chunking. It will split the text inside your document into your token size which you will be defining. You have hierarchical chunking available, in which there will be a hierarchy based of chunking will be done by that particular thing, which by Amazon Bedrock basically. So what it will do, it will create multiple nodes, and the nodes will be hierarchy in such way that first you have the parent node, then you will have the child node. In that phase you will have to customize. So there are multiple options available, but as of now, for the sake of this demonstration, we are not going to perform the customization. We will use the default setting and just click on this next. Okay, you can add up to 4 data source as well, right? That also you need to understand. And then we have this embedding option available over here. Now, you need to select the embedding model so that it will be able to convert your data into embeddings. What exactly that thing is basically. So these embeddings are nothing but, try to understand, two words over here, embedding and vector store. So try to understand. See, embeddings are nothing but the vector representation of your data. Suppose there is a sentence, select embeddings model and configure vector store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 words inside this particular sentence. So it can be words, can be phrases, or even an entire document. In our case, this is the entire document we are giving to this Amazon knowledge base, Bedrock knowledge base, right? So embeddings are the vector representation of the data, which is your words, it can be phrases or entire document. So these embeddings are going to fetch or are going to capture the meaning of that particular data. How? They will encode the data into fixed size vector of numbers. So we can use these embeddings to perform different type of tasks like semantic search we can perform clustering, or we can also do the classification as well. Suppose you have a Google search engine, a real-time example we are taking. This is the Google search engine, right? Now, in a search engine, now instead of matching the exact words, we can also use embeddings to find the documents that are basically they can be similar to the search query which we are performing. Even if the search engine don't know the exact words, it will maybe suggest us that are you trying to search something like that, or it can generate the embeddings, and then this it will able to store the particular information in a vector store so that it will able to fetch the information from the vector store. In our case, the information which we are using to provide to this Amazon Bedrock knowledge base, this information is going to store inside the vector store, and it will use the embedding where you're going to use this Titan embedding, maybe this text v1 1.2, this model we are going to use. So what it will do, it will convert this entire file which we have into embeddings, right? So whenever, with the help of this knowledge base, whenever we are going to fetch, or maybe whenever we are going to ask anything from this knowledge base, from the generative AI model, it will be able to give that information to us. Same with the chat GPT as well. In the chat GPT, we can upload the document and we can ask questions to the chat GPT that you can please provide us the information from that particular document. How exactly generative AI is able to understand your words which you have used, and it will search for that words in that particular document, and also it has the capability that it can correlate those words to the similar words as well. Same, suppose if you go to the Flipkart, I'm giving third example to understand this thing. It's a very real-time example I'm taking. See, if I will search red color shirts, it will not only show me the red color shirts, it will also show me maroon color shirts as well, the combination of multiple colors as well. See, you can see apart from the red color, we have so many different type of red colors available. There is maroon is also available, and the different colors are also available. So the word which we have used, it has searched those words in the vector store, and it has the capability that it is providing the information, exact information, as well as a little bit more information from the input which we have provided, apart from the input which we have provided. That is what is your embeddings is. So again, embeddings in a very easy manner, your artificial intelligence model or your generative AI model, these embeddings are providing the enhancement to your generative AI model with domain specific knowledge, right? So basically, the data which you have inside your data store, these embeddings are basically, they are representing your data. right? So we are selecting this Titan embedding G1 text v1.2, and then you have to select the vector database. So you can also let Amazon so that they can create a vector store on behalf of you. Else you can choose a vector store which you have already created, maybe with the help of OpenSearch serverless service or any Amazon Aurora database you have created. Any other, you can select that. Otherwise it will create a new vector store for you. Now just click on this next, and now when you click on this create knowledge base, it will create the knowledge base for you. I have already created this knowledge base, and even if you can scroll down over here, see this knowledge base. I have already created this knowledge base demo, right? So once this knowledge base, when you click on that create knowledge base, it will take around 5 to 10 minutes to create this knowledge base. And once you will create this, open this knowledge base. And once you will be do that, if you just scroll down a little bit, you can see the information from this knowledge base. There is a data source option available in which you will be able to see the data source which we have created. If you select that data store, you have an option of sync. So what this sync will do, it will sync the information from the document which you have given to this knowledge base to this to the data store to this knowledge base, so that you will be able to fetch the, or you will be able to ask any questions from this particular data store. So let me just click on this sync option over here, and it will sync the information from your document to this knowledge base. Now to test this knowledge base, or maybe you have an option over here, test the knowledge base over here. See, you can select a model. Okay, before selecting the model, you have the configuration section available over here. What should be your search type? What should be your maximum number of source chunks you want? It will be specify the result which you are going to get. It will be fetch the information from the vector store. The maximum number of source chunks will be fetching from the vector store. And any other, okay, nothing else. Let me just select the model. Now, in just for the demonstration purpose, we are selecting Claude 2. Now, see, this was the document, right? And let me just use this first question only. What is Amazon Aurora? And provide this question over here and click on this run option. So this is our generative AI model, and we have used this information to create a knowledge base inside in the backend of the generative AI application. And now user is asking what is Amazon Aurora. You can see it is able to provide the answer. Amazon Aurora is a relational database service that offers high performance. See, you can ask any other question as well. Suppose, how can I migrate from PostgreSQL to Aurora? And click on this run option over here. If it will be able to fetch the information, it will give you the answer. Otherwise, it will give the error. Now see, it has given the answer. Now what exactly we have done? First, we have created the data store. Then we move towards the Amazon Bedrock service, and with the help of Amazon Bedrock capabilities to build and scale the generative AI applications with the help of different foundation models available out there, we have created a knowledge base in which the repository we have created, in which we have integrated with this Amazon S3 data store, which we have the data inside our local system that we have used to train or to make this knowledge base. And now we can test the knowledge base as well. Now, if you want to integrate this knowledge base with your generative AI application, you can do that as well. Now, what you need to do once you will be done with this demonstration part, you just click on this delete knowledge base and click on this delete option over here. So never forget to delete the resources after the demonstration. Otherwise, you will have to bear so many charges. And just go to the OpenSearch service as well, because we had given the permissions to Amazon Bedrock to create the vector store with the help of OpenSearch service over here, right? So maybe it is deleted by default, and if not that, I will check for that. So I hope folks everything is clear to all of you, and you guys are able to understand the concept of the knowledge base and how exactly we can use this capability of Amazon Bedrock of creating the knowledge base for our generative AI applications. If you have any questions in your mind, just feel free to put it inside the chat box. I will be able to answer your questions as well. And if you have any suggestions as well, you can put it in the comment box. Do subscribe my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. Please share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.